Lisa from creativecanines.blogspot.com, and here's my Copic tutorial. Where's my light source? This is a finished project of what we're going to be doing today. This is a new image from the Paradise new release from Pixie Dust Studios. It's a digital image. The first thing that you need to know how to do before you learn how to shade is to figure out where your light source is coming from, and what I like to do is take a clue from my actual image. And in this image, the little pixie's head is tilted, and that is where I'm going to be putting my light source. This means that the area here is going to be the lightest, which is closest to the light source, and the farthest away will be the darkest, and that will guide us in where to put our shading. I'm going to start by coloring her face using my three favorite skin tone colors, E01, E00, and E000. I'm going to start with the E000, and I color just a little bit differently than everybody else. I've combined several techniques that work for me. If something different works for you, that's okay. I start by coloring my entire face image with E000, and I'm going to evenly soak the paper. And I like to retain a white area that's closest to the light source. That helps remind me that that's an area that's going to be the lightest. I made this template when I first started out to show me where the light source is coming from, and as you can tell, everything closest where those lines are hitting is going to be the lightest. And you may want to make one of these too to refer to as you're getting to learn where your light source is. I'm now going to take my E01, my darkest color, and I'm going to add shading around the face that's farthest away from our light source. I'm going to add some shading in the natural shading areas, including underneath the bangs. I'm now going to use my E00 to help blend that E01 in with the E000. Now using my E000, I'm not going to go all the way up to the E01. I'm going to use a brushing motion, kind of like I'm painting, and use that in order to smooth the shading out. I'll eventually go over that retained white spot. Every time that you go over your Copic markers, it darkens it a half a shade. That's why I use that light spot. I'm going to use the R20 now for the cheek color. I'm going to use the tip-to-tip blending method where I take my E000, touch it to the tip of my R20, and I use it for the cheeks. And once again, the cheek farthest from the light source is going to be the darkest. Make sure to clean your tip off after you're done. Now we're going to look at a light source from the opposite direction and see how that changes the image. You can use the light source all the way around the clock. It does not matter. We're going to use it from right here. And that means everything closest to that area or our light source, and you can tell by the template there, everything closest is going to be the lighter, everything farthest away is going to be darkest. That's going to help us with our shading. I'm going to start the same exact way. I'm going to use my E000. I'm going to evenly soak the paper, and I'm going to retain that white area there closest to the light source. Now for paper, I like to use the Nina Solar Crest, the Super Smooth. I feel for me it does the best for coloring. I also have started using the one Page Wonder, I believe it's called, from Couture cardstock, and really like that also. Now I'm going to go in and add my shading with my darkest color there, my E01. After I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead in with my E00 and smooth that color out and help to blend it all in together. Then I'm going to take my E000 and finish up the blending. Once again, I'm using a brush-like stroke just like you would paint. I like it because it adds a smaller amount of ink on the paper and allows it to blend more smoothly. And you can tell the side farthest away from the light source is the darkest, and that's where the shading is. Once again, we're going to look at the R00 using the tip-by-tip blending method with the E000, adding in the cheeks, and the cheek away from the light source is the darkest. Changes the look of the image. If there's any harsh lines there, you can reblend them out. As your Copic markers dry, they get a little bit lighter, so you sometimes need to go over a few times. Any mistakes you make, you can go through and take care of it with your colorless blender. It may take a few times, but it'll take those mistakes out. They're far more forgiving than other ways of coloring. Okay, now we're going to look at the last way that you can look at is to do your light source, which is directly from the top. Once again, here's the template. Directly from the top, everything closest to that light source, all these areas are going to be lightest. Coloring the face the same way, adding even color using circular strokes. The only thing different is that we're going to retain the white portion as being the center of the face because that's going to be the lightest. Going to go back in with the E01, which is our darkest color, to help with the shading. And the shading goes all the way around the face. E00 is added, once again to help blend that in. And you can really see now where the white space has been retained to be filled in now with the E000. And this requires a little bit more blending, that's okay. As long as that ink is wet, the ink's going to move around and it's going to blend for you. Another look for our little pixie. Here are the cheeks, and on this one the cheeks are going to be even colored, and the reason being is because the light source is coming from the top. Once again, you can take your light source even from underneath if you want to, all the way around the clock. That's what it looks like from the center. That's what it looks like a light source from that direction, and the light source from the opposite side. And here's your finished product. And you can tell where my light source is on that one. I added some white opaque pen to highlight that even further. And I'm going to show you how to do this on her cheeks now. I always like to start it. Sometimes it gets a little clogged up. And there we have her little cheeks are shiny. And a little bit of where the light source would hit. Thanks so much, and I hope you enjoyed our tutorial.